Hey guys, AKRC guy here, AeroWorks Productions. Got some big updates here on the Phantom. Last episode we talked about how to do FPV using a fixed mount. This time we have added the Tartot 2D brushless gimbal. This thing is amazing. For $200 you get some amazing video. Comes basically ready to go out of the box. Has a isolation mount. Has the gimbal board, has the motors. It's excellent. I decided to take my Phantom apart again, put a lot of the components on the inside, like the FPV transmitter, and redo some of the wiring. But let's take a closer look at what I did here. Alright, well, one of the first things you're going to notice is the extensions on the legs here. With the gimbal on there, and I used the mount by Mike Workman. I'll give you the link to his product that he makes. It's an awesome little mount. Keeps the Tartot on the Phantom as low profile as possible. And actually, with the Tartot on there, with his mount and the stock legs, the Phantom actually clears, but by like a hair. And if you were to come down with your lens facing down or in some other rough terrain, there's a good chance you could hit that. So you see a lot of people adding things like foam to the bottom of the skids. I originally tried the foam. The problem I didn't like with the foam is that it caused a big something for the wind to grab onto out there. So you had these big feet on the bottom here, and it was just one more thing for the wind to be able to push against. So I wanted to streamline this. I bought these at the local hardware store. I bought a 4-foot 1/4-inch dowel rod made out of poplar. It was like $1.48. Cut them 5 inches long. Let them sit on top of the factory screws. Use some zip ties. Works great. Only downside is I can't put it in my case right now, but I'm fine with that because of the video that I get out of this gimbal. It's just amazing. So I talked about also what I did as far as the Fat Shark and putting some of the other gear on the inside. I'll show you a picture of that right now. You're going to see a picture of me in the middle of the electronics portion of this build, doing all the soldering. I actually used the factory accessory power cable. That's that gray and red cable inside that's just hanging in there in the factory Phantoms. Now, I'm not sure if the newer models are going to have that, but the older ones did. I bought mine back in March and then had it in there. I actually used that to power both my Fat Shark, and I ran this little JST power cord out of one of the legs, and that's what I power my gimbal with. The reason I didn't just direct power it is I like to boot up the GPS and the IMU before I power everything up, and that way you're not draining the battery as quickly. So what I typically do is leave this unplugged, power up the Phantom, get the green GPS light, get your IOC set, and when you're happy with that and you got your position all squared away, then go ahead and plug in your gimbal and let it stabilize and level out. The other nice thing with being able to leave this off is if for any reason you have to do the compass calibration, the old compass dance, you can leave that off because, as you know, you've got to nose down and twist and do all that, and the gimbal wouldn't like going upside down and all that if it was powered up. So you just kind of leave it loose, leave it unpowered, do your compass dance, and then get it on the ground and plug it in and you're good to go. So that's it for now. One of the things I'm working with, and I'm working with the guys on the forums, is how to get this tilt function to work correctly. Right now I'm using the Futaba T8J radio. And the nice thing about that is it's got this VR knob at the top, which allows you to manually tilt. And then I also have one of the switches set up to override that. So if I want to go to a direct down position, I can simply flick that and go right to a straight down position. Let's go ahead and take a look at some sample footage I shot over the last couple days. This was actually the very first flight with the Tartot gimbal. This is right outside my yard here. I was still getting used to how to work the tilt knob and worry about crashing it with a brand new gimbal on there. So it's not the steadiest video, but it was actually fairly windy that day, and just did some different video, looking straight down, pulling away, and did some other shots. Now these are stock settings right out of the box. I didn't change any settings at all. The yawing motion is just me on the sticks. That doesn't have anything to do with the gimbal. But you can see very steady, very stable, looking even straight down. Now this is a promo video we're shooting for a company that makes Jeep accessories. And we were trying out some different shots here. We wanted to get a straight down shot into the Jeep. This is just raw footage, uncut, untouched, no color correction or anything, so just doing some fun shots. I added this shot in. This was me flying back from one of the Jeep shots. You can see the flag down there in the lower right blowing, and including that tree on the left there. It's fairly windy, but just stable video. Excellent, excellent video. Alright, just to show you once I power it up how everything works, I'll go ahead and make sure all my switches on my radio are in the right position. I'm going to turn on the radio. Got the right aircraft listed on my radio there. Go ahead and plug in the Phantom. Give it about 5 seconds. Let those lights stabilize and start trying to find GPS, which it's doing now. We're getting a flash in orange. Alright. Now I'll leave the gimbal kind of crooked here just so you can kind of see how it works. I'm going to go ahead and plug in the JST cable. It is plugged in. Give it about 5 to 10 seconds here and let's watch the gimbal. There it is, coming alive. It's trying to follow where my knob is currently set, and there we go, there's a level. So, I get the knob here in the picture. You can see here, I can tilt the camera straight down. I can look straight up if I want to. Makes it real nice. Now one of the neat things with this switch that I have set up is I can have the camera looking at a fairly level shot and then set a down position with my knob, and as I fly over something, flick that switch and it goes directly to that position I want. So that's kind of a neat feature. Alright guys, that's it for now. Stay tuned, be sure to subscribe, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks.